So hi there, it's Frank Klesitz. I want to introduce you to my friend Brian Ernst, who wrote the Half Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I always mess that title up, Brian. The half
Millionaire.
the half millionaire,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because so much of this stuff you see in the real estate space is like how to be a millionaire. And Brian's like, you know what? I think a half million is just fine. It's kind of like the why 6 minute abs when I had 5 minute abs. Love it. It's great. It's a wonderful book. Go to Amazon, go type it in, go read it. It has wonderful reviews. And it will just give you some shortcuts of how to make money in real estate without having to pound out cold calls all the time or hassling your friends and family for business or basically risking your life savings on advertising that doesn't work, being an advertising victim. So Brian has some good insights in the book. Go get it. It's wonderful. We're going to talk about it today. All right. So my name's Frank Klesitz. I have an advertising agency. Many of your clients, Brian, we've worked with for a while in the real estate space to help you stay in touch with your database. And you can go to getviral.com and learn all about that there and how we can help you out executing like a database touch program to get people to call you to buy or sell your house. But I wanted to interview Brian today. I'm going to put this together, a little webinar together for you to give you some insights. So if you read the book, you know, there may be some changes to it, maybe not. Book was written about published in 2019. Lots changed since then. All right. So Brian, let's get the show started. Here's my first question that I told I would ask you to kind of set the stage for this whole point of this book that you wrote back in the day. Well, not back in the day, a couple of years ago. But why did you write the book, and why did you title it as such?
Well, Frank, thanks for doing this with me here today.
Yeah.
And why did I write the book? I wrote the book because so many people kept asking me, "How do you do what you do?" That was where it came from. How do you do what you do? How do you make that kind of money? How do you work that little hours in real estate? What do you know? And I actually wrote the outline for that book years before that. Okay, and a lot of that stuff, well, where it really came from was the housing recession. It's some of the biggest rules and tricks and ideas and philosophies that I got out of the housing recession that helped me survive that period of time. And then obviously when that was finished, it was just taken off. Everything was just launching. So really, I'm just writing the book because people ask me, how do you do what you do? Here you go. Here's the book. Here you go. And that
And at
just,
your
it just
at
came
your
from years
peak,
before.
you've been selling real estate for how many years? And at your peak, you were doing how much business?
So it's 20 years now. 20 years. It'll be in a few months, it'll be 20 years. And really, I always count transactions. So we were doing close to 200 transactions a year. And a lot of the times I only had like one other person working with me. And we were averaging over 100 transactions a year with just one other person, no admin, just one other person with me. So a lot of different teams that we have, but we're not talking super huge teams. A lot of them are just, most of the time it's just one other person working with me. And we were doing, well over 100 deals a year consistently.
So people were asking you, you're doing a lot of business. You don't seem to be working that much of a crazy work-life balance of having it stressing you out all the time. How are you doing it? You wrote the book. All right. People read it. They love it. Go read the reviews. My next question is, all right, so people read the book and you probably had some clients execute it. What success have people had with the ideas in the book?
Well, a lot, and it depends on the individual. Okay, not everybody is going to put all these different things into place. The people that have, I've seen such dramatic changes in their careers. You're talking about not just like doubling their income. We're talking triple, quadruple, quintuple. One of my coaching clients recently, the most he ever made in real estate in the 5 years he'd been in real estate, the most in 1 year he only made was like 60 grand. Okay, something like that. Then he started coaching with me, and the next year he made 410,000. I
That's
mean, just
great.
another. I mean, just I'm looking though. I'm looking at the commissions. What did they make? Somebody was making 30 grand a year. Took him about 2 years to get him lined up, but he was making 350, even to 350 to 500 consistently every year after that. So I just go on. Those numbers are huge. Some people just take a few the different ideas and put them into place, and they cut their time because they just want more time. It's like, yeah, it's enough money. I just don't really want to put 60 to 80 hours a week in. Yeah. Okay. Is it always just that simple? It depends if you have your business set up or not. Okay. There's so many success stories because I used to coach people when I was with Remax for 14 years. Um, everybody in that group had a 20 to 400% increase in production year to year. And that was only following a fraction of the things in the book. Like, so little in the book was the things that we were actually doing at that time. A lot of it was just more accountability. So it's the success stories are just they're huge. I wish I could share everybody's success story of what I've seen and what I've gotten from it. But there's so many people who've read it and taken different parts of it in different ways. Sometimes it's just as simple as getting through a deal, just getting through a deal, and finding that success in one single deal that you had an objection, didn't know how to overcome, figured that out, got through that. And sometimes it's just those simple successes like that that makes all the difference for people. But I like to see the big ones. I like to see the people who are making $500,000 a year. And why the $500,000? Why that particular title? And I just got to share that because there's other books called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and other things similar to that. And how many people do you actually know that actually reach that level, that actually get to that and making that kind of money and have the time? And the people that I know that I've met who've gone through that, yeah, if they're making that money, they're working just that many hours too, just promoting their own business and recruiting and hiring and whatnot. And this was just a different formula for this. And it's like, yeah, how about half? How about half that? Would you be satisfied with 500,000 a year? Would you be satisfied with that? Yeah,
100%
yeah,
easily
I could
puts
handle
you
it.
in the top, easily puts you in the top 1% of incomes in the United States.
So
I think it's just over 500 grand. Yeah.
why not?
So it's been a few years. We have gone from a low interest rate environment to a high one, right? Let me ask you this. What hasn't changed from the book? Are there a few really key things in that book that stand out that has not changed from 2019 to 2022?
Well, I mean, some of the basics. I mean, really, it's really some of the basics in the book. I just go through the chapter titles, and to me, it's just like, it's don't be a secret agent. I mean, it's there's so much stuff that now I did have some stuff like don't go into the office. Be in mind when I originally had this, and I wrote the outline for this book. I was with Remax at the time, so and the whole idea is you don't make money in the office. So that whole concept has changed. We can work through Zoom. We can do a lot of that stuff like that. But what really hasn't changed is so much of this stuff really hasn't changed. It's just like fine tuning different parts of it through the past few years to make it work better. That's really the biggest difference. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah. So, is there anything that you've written in the book would you say has significantly changed? And we're going to get into the recommendations here next that Brian recommends. But if someone were
Well,
to pick up your book, would they say like, "Hey, this chapter is a little bit different now," or "This lesson's a bit different now"?
so
Anything
the
there?
so the majority of my business it was been marketing based. I mean, I'm just such a charming personality. I mean, I had to do something, so it was marketing. Okay, I didn't have a whole sphere of people to go to when I got into real estate. I wasn't a part of a lot of organizations where I knew people, they knew me, they would list and sell their house through me. My most of my business, once I earned enough money, was pretty much marketing based, and I wanted that image to be trusting and professional. So what's the thing here? This is the thing that has changed so much. It's it's target marketing more than ever to make sure you have the right database, the right people that you're targeting. That is just so crucial. And to develop it and develop it right, not I've developed it in a lot of different ways. And Frank, you know this too, doing some cold lists, and you know that you know better than anybody what that can do, good and bad for you. So what's really changed is the marketing aspect. It's still there. It just means you have to be just so much more targeted with that and the messaging to get to those people. Just imagine for yourself, anybody here, just imagine when you get an email or a piece of actual mail in the actual mail, any type of marketing piece that you get, how dismissive are you of that versus, let's just say, a few years ago? It's just uh, so much stuff comes through email. It's just like, oh, dismiss, get rid of it. You got to say that right message that catches those people. And it's got to be the right people that know, like, and trust you too. And if you don't have that, then develop it. It takes some time, but develop that right database for yourself. And that's why I appreciate doing this with you, Frank, because I really trust in you and how you do this. And more than ever in this market, this is what's needed.
Cool. I figure we'll spend the next 20 minutes or so just answering the questions that we put up on here. You wanted to cover what you asked me to cover, how to basically grab your existing database,
Yeah,
what to send the people to your existing database, those messages, how to get a list of people who are highly likely to sell their homes so you can reach out to them and get the listing. And then maybe some of the first steps to find a virtual assistant to either help you on the administrative side of the business or maybe with some phone calls. So
that'd
you
be
guys ready
great.
for that? Cool. Well, let's start the exercise then. So I think the first thing is the secret to doing a lot of business without, like you talk about in your book, without taking tons of time is giving yourself a little bit of leverage. So going from one to 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 many, right? So let's talk about that. Here's one to many. I'm going to share my screen here. This is my Google contacts. I think most of you have this. You're probably using Gmail or something to the effect. This is just contacts.google.com, and I recommend you go ahead and go there. And then on the left, yep, there it is. On the left, scroll on down and click Other Contacts. And then once you do that, just click the very first result and then click All. And you kind of let that populate. And then from here, you just click Export. And you can see that I have 8,000 people I've communicated with in my email list. And if any of you would like to do this exercise along the same way on the webinar, go ahead and open up a web browser and go to contacts.google.com, log in, and see what your number is. All right. But the question is, man, are there people in there want to buy or sell their house that might know me? The answer is yes. All right. Let's do the second thing. There's a cool app out there. I think they charge for it now. It was free. I think they just started charging for it. It was literally free. Yeah, they just started charging for it. It's worth the money. This is called Export Contacts by Cubby. It's a quick little app you install, and very quickly, it's worth the $5. It'll export every single contact sitting in your phone, first name, last name, whatever's in there. And that's a second spreadsheet you'll have of every contact in your phone, easily exported, and every contact in your Gmail or your Outlook. If you use Outlook, you can go check out a help file on that to figure that out. All right. There's a third list. Hopefully you have a CRM. You talk about this in your book, Brian. Someplace to put all your contacts. Go into your CRM and dump everyone out of there. If you have a really large CRM, go ahead and leave out all the unsubscribes and the bounces and all the archives. But I grab all those people as well. Then, now that you have all those people exported, you probably want to scrub them to remove all the bad emails. And this is a quick service you can use called Never Bounce. Just take those lists, upload them here, and it'll remove all the bad emails and give you the clean ones. Just like that. So now your list is scrubbed. Then go sign up for a MailChimp account, Constant Contact, whatever. Upload them all in there. And now you have, it will deduplicate them by email address. And now you have all your contacts sitting in your account forever, right? Ready to receive something. You can also upload them to Facebook. So if you want to send them an email, you get a message, or you can update Facebook and you can advertise a message to everybody in your database. All right. Cool tip too, Brian. just because I know you don't like working that much. And let's get rid of all the extra effort. Um, there's a whole bunch of CRMs out there. I'm just going to use Boom. There's many. I'm just going to type in Boomtown, right? But wouldn't it be great that whenever you put a new contact into your CRM, it went right to your email marketing program automatically?
That would be helpful.
Yeah. So check this out. Every time you add a new lead to your CRM, let's create a new subscriber in the email account. So all you have to do is just go into your CRM, wherever you put your new contacts, and just make a little zap like this, assuming that they link up and your CRM's in there to your email marketing account. So all you have to do now is put people in your CRM that you meet or leads that go in there, and now they're on your touch plan. Goes even further. Let's say someone goes in your CRM, you can even add them to Facebook. The Facebook audience doesn't show up on here as another one, but you can sync it over to Facebook for retargeting right here. So I think that's something that, to not have to work so hard, is going through that exercise and getting all those contacts sitting in your list ready to receive a message, right? So the question is, what do you send them? Right? What's the message, Brian? So I'll see if I could find I think I had it here. Where did it go? Document shared with you. Reconnect email. Here it is. So Brian, you kind of lean on me a little bit saying, Frank, so for everyone here, I think we just signed it viral. I wired $135,000 to Emma, our email program.
For emails.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
don't even know how many millions of emails I bought, but like I bought a lot. I send millions, so I kind of know like which ones get the best results. So here's the first email to send out. So let's see if you guys would be comfortable basically sending out this email to literally everybody in your entire list that you've done your entire life. Are you ready, Brian?
I'm ready.
Here we go. From Brian Ernst. Important Las Vegas real estate update. I want to keep you better informed what's going on here. Friends, clients, and colleagues. I'm writing you since we're friends. We worked together to buy or sell your home. You're in real estate with me, or we're connected in my address book or on social media. It's no secret our Las Vegas real estate market is going through a shift. Interest rates on homes jumped from 3 to 7% quickly. I think it's like down to 6 now. It dropped a bit, changed like 2 days ago. But this makes it more difficult for people to buy a home. And homeowners who don't need to sell are generally staying put since they got a nice, sweet interest rate. We just keep an inventory low. Builders are pulling back. The bottom line is we're heading back to a normal real estate market. And when it comes to after all this emergency financial stimulus provided by our government, the problem is our national news has sensationalized the situation. And when it comes to real estate, it's super local, right down to the specific neighborhood. And what you hear in the national news isn't necessarily what's happening right here in Las Vegas or Henderson or Summerlin or whatever. That's where I come in. I want to step up and do a better job of keeping you informed about what's truly going on here. I talk to buyers and sellers daily, so I plan on sending you a couple short videos, a couple tips. I'm going to answer some questions about real estate right here locally. And the videos won't waste your time, and they're really important. If you don't want to hear from me, you can unsubscribe. But the top question I get all the time now is, what's my home worth? Is it falling? Is it tanking? What the heck's going on? And the stuff you get online isn't accurate. Come on, we got to price in those unique factors of your home. So I'm happy to tell you where your home is worth at no charge if you listed it for sale. If you want a detailed price estimate, you can send me some photos of your home. I'll take a look at it. But you can click right here to request a free updated home price estimate to know what your home is worth, which goes to a page where they can put in their contact information if they're thinking about selling their house. Yada, yada, yada. Got it? Brian, would you feel comfortable sending something like this out to your entire contact list to drum up some seller leads?
Sure. We're going to do that again.
Good. Yeah. So you're probably wondering, like, what type of results could you expect from something like that? Let me see if I can find what we sent out recently. Here's one. This is a client out in 8 days ago. But these are all the opt-ins that came in from that form of all these people were interested in, they fill out their phone number, their email, first name, last name. Are they working with an agent? Are they thinking of selling? What's the condition of the home? These are all of the leads that came in. So just kind of rounded up the list. He has a big list. This is a bigger agent, bigger list, but still. Sent out an email just like this. Had all these people opt in with their permission-based phone numbers and emails. So they're coming to you versus you having to go to them. Then I called him. I was like, hey man, like, did you get any business from this? And yep, 13 appointments. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that makes doing business a lot easier, is instead of like having to risk all this money on advertising or prospect and pound the phones, is, kind of seeing what's sitting in your existing list, sending out a message like that and seeing if you get some leads back.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Thoughts on that, Brian?
I I mean, I've seen this so many times. My
Yeah.
thoughts are this and I have the same excuse that I hear a lot of other people say. It's like, well, there's people I don't really want to contact on my phone or the database, whatnot. And, because I don't want to go to an agent, whatnot. Either way, this email applies to everybody. You're putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
I mean, it fits, and you never know who's going to either possibly even send you a referral if it's another agent or whatnot. You just stay in front of people. So, I mean, it's good stuff. It's just really good stuff, Frank. And I appreciate you having the insights on this stuff so that I can
Yeah.
lean on you on this. So I don't always have to do it myself.
Yeah. I'll give you guys something else that just makes getting business a lot easier without having to work so hard to get it. So you're at an event with me in Nashville,
Yep.
and one of the agents in the room was from Syracuse, New York. And he was like, how can I need to get I need to get more listings. I got to get some more action going on for my pipeline. And I was like, Chip, we, we schedule a time once a month for him to shoot some videos on Riverside, which is basically like a Zoom that we're doing. So there's this really cool product called Riverside. This is what you can use to shoot videos. It's like this really nice online recording studio that records your videos in studio quality. But I was like, hey, Chip, instead of like just doing this privately, how about we email out the link for the public to attend? So you already have this appointment. You already have this appointment on your calendar to record some videos. How about at that same time, let's just send out an email for the world to watch you record your videos? All
Why
right.
not? Why not?
No extra time from you. And what's going on in your market? He's like, well, there's some big news. Micron, big chip manufacturer. We need to get all of our chips from out of Taiwan. So the Chinese don't take all of our chips and they invade Taiwan. So the government passed these subsidies to put the chips manufacturing in the United States. That was recent. So Micron, dude, Brian, look at this. Where is it? I think it's 100 billion. Where is it? Yeah, look at this. Micron is going to put $100 billion into Clay, New York, right outside Syracuse. Right?
Jeez. Yeah.
That's
That's
insane. Like, is that like more like a GDP of a country? Right? So he decided that his video topic was going to be, what does this mean for your home price? Hey, I'm going to shoot these videos. Why don't you come to this webinar, right? Why don't you come to this workshop? Why don't you just come to this link where I'm going to hang out on Zoom and we're going to talk about what this means for you as a homeowner. But instead of shooting the videos, we kind of position it more as like a conversation like we're having, Brian.
Yeah.
So email goes out. He does some promotion. Doesn't leave his home, just does a webinar like this. Again, ease. I'm going to see what he sent me the other day.
Yeah.
There. Again, just making things easier. This was 20 hours ago. Look at that.
Jeez.
So just by getting the messages out, and he was able to have a politician on as a guest that helped mail on it.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. So he was able to get like someone from the state legislature on his webinar. But again, he just basically invited people to watch him shoot his videos, more or less. Right?
It's great.
Look at that. Isn't that great?
That's fantastic.
Now he wants to sell it. Of course he does. But it's kind of that concept of kind of going from one to one to one to one to many, which is something you talk about in your book a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So now I guess, okay, you round up all these contacts in your list and let's get some messages out for them to watch videos or watch videos of you online about important topics. Or let's offer them, hey, click here to find out what your home is worth, click here to search for homes, click here to maybe get a cash offer on your home. And that generates a list of leads for you that makes things easier. But then again, like, Brian, like not everyone has these big databases like Chris, or these big databases that, as a politician that will come on and mail it to the entire GOP donor list, right? How do I build my list if I don't have that much to start with, right? Well, we've talked about this. Again, making things easier so you don't have to work so much. There's lots of companies that do this, but this is a company that I like. What you could do is take that same database that you exported that's in your email account, and you can upload it to these guys. And what they're going to do, and they could do a little better job on their website, but basically the way to help you understand this is like all the websites that you're going to are being sold of your website history. Everywhere you go on your iPhone is being tracked. Um, Again, I don't agree, I don't like this, but this is kind of a big deal. Is wherever you go with your phone, that information is being sold of how long and where you stay. All right, and you can read more about this stuff. Your credit card transactions. One of the reasons you get so much cash back is because marketers can buy what you're purchasing. All right. So you basically have no privacy, but it's all disclosed in your terms and conditions, Brian, that you accept. Do you read your terms and conditions, Brian?
I have a Android phone.
The point is, you can take your database and you can take any list and run it through an algorithm, and it'll tell you statistically who's more likely to sell their home than not, based upon all the reasons why I motivate people to sell their house. And these services will give you a nice little tight list if you're likely to sell. And they're pretty good. About 1 in 10 will sell their house in 90 days. So if you get that list, 1 in 10 will sell their house in 90 days. So you start with maybe uploading your current database to them. And I have no affiliation, just there's lots of services that do this now. Or you could take a farm or a zip code, upload that to them, and they will tell you that here's this list, and statistically speaking, they backdate it, 1 in 10 will sell in the next 90 days. So it just makes your prospecting or your mailers much more efficient. So you can get more done in less time.
That's the efficiency of who you're getting to is just, that's the thing that's so crucial more than ever.
And then I would say, like, the other thing when it just comes to like working less and making more that you talk in your book is seeing how you can hire like a virtual assistant or someone to help you out, like making calls.
See, a lot of that stuff wasn't originally in my book, and that's where that's changed too, because
that's a change. That's
that
right.
is a change, because we're not, because what I didn't want to do is hire somebody on W-2, paying them 60 grand a year, and then it's like they're not covering their costs alone versus $4 an hour overseas. Well, wait a minute, that throws that's a whole different equation there that works much better than anything else nowadays.
So it's even gotten better. You can go online and post a job for someone around the world that has good English to follow up with your leads and make your calls for you on your behalf. I'm trying to find the job post. I wish I had it here available. Let's see if I can find real estate. But you can go to Upwork, upwork.com, and post a job for someone to help you make phone calls, to follow up with leads, and to make calls on your behalf. And you probably find someone pretty good on Upwork for probably $6 to $8 an hour, and you'll have like 100 people from around the world apply for that job. Now the question is like, how's their English? And I covered this in one of the workshops, but all you have to do is say when you apply, um, you know, will you please, record a little less than 1 minute audio of why you want the job? And I'll give you the tool with that. Pretty much everyone around the world uses this tool called Vocaroo. So you say, go here and just press record and just like tell me in under 1 minute why you want the job, right? And you'll have all these people from the world applying for somewhere probably between $5 to $8 an hour, which is good pay in that country. All right. And instead of like, reading the resume, you click play, you listen straight down, you listen until like, oh wow, that person sounds really good. In fact, someone just reached out to me. Let me kind of play for you maybe what good English could sound like to see if I can find the person I actually just offered a position to for some calls for me for my real estate business. Would you like to hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Where is
These are
she at?
always
Yeah, there
interesting.
she is. Yep, there she is. Let me share my screen and continue to link, and here we go.
Hi, my name is Anne Pauline Lee. I'm from Philippines and I'm a real estate inside sales agent and a sales and telemarketing rockstar. I've been in this industry since 2012, where I started working in a
Great,
call center here in the Philippines. They trained me well to communicate,
great,
handle rejections over the phone,
great.
qualify people
Oh,
over the phone, ask
great.
them questions, set an appointment,
Oh,
and sell over the phone
oh my goodness.
until I decided to work from home in 2014. As a real estate inside sales agent, I focus.
Yeah, so she's good enough. I would definitely take her.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I would too.
$6, $7 an hour.
Oh yeah.
So getting some of that leverage to help someone make the calls, because God, one of the worst parts of the business that takes up so much time is just getting somebody on the phone who wants to buy or sell a house.
Well, that's the exhausting part, especially
Worst
in
part.
the market, is just like talking to all the people with the headache conversations you're getting. Let's just talk to the people who want to talk to you. Let's just talk to the people who want to sell. Let's
Yeah.
just talk to that clientele versus, because that has worn me down in real estate more than anything else, is talking to people that I should not be talking to. They're not going to buy or sell anytime soon. They're complaining about
I
something.
know.
They just want, they have nothing to do all day and they're just going to waste your time. No, let's just talk to the people who want to talk to you and they want to buy or sell a home.
Yeah. So we had in my real estate team again, just so I don't have to work that much, and I was able to have some money set aside to do this. Let me see if I can find a daily report here. Um, but wouldn't it be great if you just hired somebody to, probably do something like this here? Hey, Frank, we had 10 people call us that want to sell their home. I made 160 calls, 25 people got back to me, and I set 10 appointments, listing appointments.
It's
So
awesome.
like if you got like a report like that, and again, she's Maria's in the Philippines. All right. Um, every single day getting a report of like, here's all the new leads that came in from the market we talked about. Do you want to go through make 160 phone calls, Brian? Like, I don't know how you
No,
work 20 hours a week doing
no,
that,
no, no,
but
no.
someone else can,
Yeah,
and just set the appointment for you or one of your agents,
there we go.
right?
That's the idea.
Yeah. So, I think the last part of all this is, you make it sound easy, but there is a lot of competition among agents. There's a lot out there. So people go online and they Google you and they check you out to kind of see
Online
if you're legit
branding.
or not. Online branding. So Brian came to me and was like, Frank, your online brand's really bad. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like you need to kind of step up your game online. So I got a hands off to Brian that I flew down to Vegas and he took me to Men's Warehouse, got a haircut, got a shave. We hired a photographer, a really high quality photographer,
The
and we got some
celebrity photography is what he really does.
we got some pictures taken. And Brian did a really nice job to kind of help with my own personal online presence to kind of update the brand that kind of backs up. When people see all this stuff, they go research you online. Like, does this person look legit? Like, money flows of differences, not similarities, type of thing. So Brian, do you want to share some of my photos if you'd like to see some nice professional photos of Frank that's not sitting in his home office?
Be in mind, I caught Frank at a weak moment on this one too. You've been traveling, and
Yeah.
I mean, you had a blazer that you had literally
Yeah, I think my blazer
in
was
your
crumpled
suitcase. I was
crumpled in
like,
my suitcase. Yeah.
ah. So, it's like, okay, you need we're gonna do a photo shoot. It's a celebrity photographer. He does celebrity headshots, is really what he does. It's incredible. And if you're out in Vegas, let me know. I'll see if I can set you up with him, but he's hard to get a hold of.
I
And
highly
the idea
recommend him.
is, what's that?
I highly recommend him.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I got Frank the basic clothes that he needs for this stuff. Got to get it tailored, and there's a haircut, and then I don't think, Frank, have you ever had a straight razor shave like that before? I mean, like, yeah. It's like, all right, this
I need
is
another one.
let's do it. Let's do this right. So we're going
Yeah.
all these different steps. So this is a process of doing this. Now we're saying online branding, but
Showing some photos of what you want. Just so you know, I would never do this as like a guy.
well,
I would never do it.
I don't even know if I can. I don't even have any before pictures that I can show anymore. So, uh,
Go ahead.
you want me to show before a picture?
Not the before ones. I'm pretty disheveled.
All
Just show the
right,
process. You
all
can
right,
show some of the
all
shots.
right, all
Like,
right.
but Brian went through and took me through all this. So I guess as Brian shows these, you guys can see some of my shots. That's a good looking Frank there.
Look at that, Frank. That's
Yeah.
how I want you to look, Frank.
Fantastic.
That's just night and day difference. And the feedback that you've gotten on this,
Yeah.
is how many
I
people,
think
how much.
people that don't know me, that have never met me, when they see some of this branding, they treat me better.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A little bit. It's just like, if it's like a loose, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like, you kind of have like getting dressed in the real world kind of takes a back seat to like getting dressed online now. You know what I mean?
And
So
and you're not the only one that I've done this with recently too. I've done this with a few other people too, and it's just like, because this gets into everything, gets into life. Gets in your business profiles you put out there. If you're, different communities you're a part of, if you're on like dating apps. I have one of my coaching clients. He said the amount of people coming through after I redid his pictures with him.
profiles. Yeah.
He said he was
Well,
getting
it's all marketing, man. It's all marketing.
10 times the number of basically leads coming in on these
Yeah.
apps. Like he's just like, and you can select the thing, which is the best picture, like what do people like the best picture, put that to the top. And it's like, it was all those pictures that he got.
Yeah.
And it was just like, same process, getting the clothes, tailored, haircut, shave, all that stuff with the right photographer, the right setup. And that's the thing, you don't have to do this every day. You do this every so often type of stuff. And this is the image you're putting out there. Because just one picture, is that professional? Is it trusting? Is that what you're conveying to the public? Or do you have a beer in your hand from some college days in a fraternity, whatever, doing a keg stand? I don't know. All right. There's all kinds of stuff. If you Google yourself, you can find all kinds of crazy stuff, but this is just a whole different image. And this is what I recommend this to so many people, to go through this. It just changes people's perceptions. And I want people to be sold on me and trusting me, my professionalism, my knowledge, my experience before I even meet them in person. I want them pre-sold on me. And it's amazing how judgmental people are out there in the world. So getting the right image out there, it changes things so much.
It does. So I want to let you guys hear, we promised you about 30, 40 minutes of some insight. Go get Brian's book on Amazon. All right. You can also go to our homepage, Viral Marketing, GETVYRAL, and download the video marketing plan that we recommend to stay in touch with your whole database with some of the tips that we shared here on the webinar. You can check that out. All right. And also, you can reach out to Brian, who can coach you on all this stuff. I'm not a real estate coach. I just run a marketing firm. Brian's the guy that sold a lot of houses, and can just open your mind a bit that using some more of these advanced strategies that we talked today is, just literally we showed you doing what we're doing today. How can that get more people reaching out to you without spending too much money that want to buy or sell a house? And it's by adding that leverage, by the online branding, looking good, doing the digital marketing like we showed here today, It just, and even hiring like a calling assistant to help with slogging through the calls to find people that actually want to buy or sell now. Putting that together is kind of the formula. Earn $500,000 a year in real estate, working 20 hours a week. Right, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I threw that in the chat box there too. I threw an Calendly link.
Good.
If somebody wanted to talk more about some stuff, if you guys, but there's one more piece of advice I'd throw out there, especially with the changes that have happened so much, is to surround yourself with the right people. The Jim Rohn quote I love is, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, where are you getting direction from for your real estate business? And that has just been so crucial. When I find out where people are getting their information from, who they're listening to, it's appalling. It's absolutely appalling what advice they're getting and receiving and then taking, that it's running them out of the business. So find the right mentor, guide, coach, whoever that may be. If I can point in the right direction, I do. I don't take everybody. I'm very selective on who I coach. But I'm happy to point you in the right direction if I can. And that's the joy of it. You know, it's not just a career, it's a lifestyle too. And what life do you want to live? And who do you want to associate with? And what problems do you want 10 years from now that you're going to create today? And what business do you want to create down the road that you will even enjoy or you will dread waking up every day doing? And I hope it's not the dreading part. So
Yeah,
that would change that today.
You're not the type of guy, Brian, that wants to go out and add 30 agents to his team.
No,
That's not your thing.
no, those are not the problems that I
you want.
enjoy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm more on the vacation problems. I like vacation problems, you know, like, you know, money solves a lot of problems for vacation, you know. And if I like steakhouse problems, you know, they serve me a prime steak and it's the wrong steak. And it's still a really good steak. Yeah, these are steakhouse
If you
problems.
guys
I like
ever
that.
have a chance, Brian lives in Las Vegas now, and you should hear about his $500,000 lifestyle of going out every single night, basically every night of the week, to go dine at a steakhouse,
Yeah,
which starts at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But we got to wrap up, Brian. Brian, thank you so much for doing this. I want to thank you guys for attending, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, everyone.
thanks everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Great chat. If you need some help.